Mikhail Gorbachev arrives in Moscow early Thursday morning. The Soviet leader, toppled from power just 3 days ago, is now back in charge. It's our top story tonight. This is King 5 News at 11. Good evening. I'm Barry Judge. Gene Anderson has the evening off. Tonight, Soviet President Gorbachev is home, and reports are that the leaders of the group which tried to oust him have been arrested, although their whereabouts are not exactly known. Our top story begins in Washington, D.C. Judy Fortin is there and joins us live with this latest Soviet update.
Just 1 hour from now, Mikhail Gorbachev will appear before the Russian parliament. It'll be his first public appearance since returning from house arrest in the Crimea. Mikhail Gorbachev arrived back in Moscow in the middle of the night, looking tired but obviously happy to be back.
Here is my respect to Soviet people, and specifically to Boris Yeltsin, the President of Russia.
But he admits there are still many problems ahead.
And we have some problems. We have plenty of problems. We worried about those problems, and I had worked on those problems, and even on my vacation.
Mikhail Gorbachev may be back in power, but to many Soviets, the most popular man in Moscow is Boris Yeltsin, the man they saw standing up to the hardliners. Many of the 8 men who led the coup are now reportedly under arrest. Officials are promising to fully prosecute them under Soviet law. President Bush says now that the coup has ended, he expects even better relations between the U.S. and Soviet Union.
I think it's a good day for U.S.-Soviet relationship, because I don't think that the fears that some of us have had about, many people have had actually, about right-wing takeovers will no longer be as extant. They tried and they failed, and democracy prevailed and reform prevailed.
Mr. Bush says the coup failed because, quote, you can't put freedom and democracy back in a box. Analysts give a more straightforward assessment. The hardliners were poorly organized, and the Soviet military didn't have the stomach to shoot dissenters. President Bush reacted angrily to claims that Gorbachev orchestrated the coup himself to strengthen his own power. Mr. Bush says such a theory makes no sense. Judy Fortin reporting live in Washington.
Just moments ago, King 5 News talked with John Jerk. He is with the NDC Bureau in Moscow. And here's some of what he had to say about the fate of the Soviet economy now.
Yeah, I think that it's a difficult question. On the one hand, obviously, the economic situation's probably even worse on the one hand than it was before, because now even the last vestige of economic direction by the old apparatus has probably been torn away. On the other hand, there is a window now to creating something truly new, which they didn't have before while the conservative economic apparatus was still in place. So obviously, the first things that Gorbachev moves on in the economic field are going to be quite telling. If Gorbachev accepts that Yeltsin's way of style of government, that a more open, a more radical style relying on the people, one that allows them to express their free wills, is the one that is good for Russia or the Soviet Union, then there is perhaps some hope for the Russian economy's recovery.
John Jerk in Moscow. Well, the coup is over now, but it's still unclear who masterminded it or why. By some accounts, the takeover was bungled. The plotters did not shut down all broadcast stations and telephone service. Russian President Boris Yeltsin was allowed to rally Soviet people and world leaders. The perpetrators did not deploy soldiers and tanks until after they announced the coup. Pentagon sources say that most senior military leaders were not supportive. The Committee of 8 also apparently misread the Soviet people, believing they would welcome the departure of Gorbachev and embrace the return of a hardline central form of government. President Bush was asked if Gorbachev could have been part of the plot.
To suggest that this President Gorbachev would plot to put the people of the Soviet Union through this kind of trauma and the rest of the world through it just makes absolutely no sense at all.
Intelligence agencies are puzzled tonight by what did happen because they say everything went wrong. Mikhail Gorbachev may have gained the sympathy of world leaders through all of this, but his political rival Boris Yeltsin has gained admiration. Our top story continues tonight with King 5's Brendan McLaughlin on what the future may hold for these two ambitious leaders.
The liberal and democratic ideals of Mikhail Gorbachev may have touched off this desperate coup attempt and led to his house arrest by conservative plotters. But when the Soviet people rose up in opposition, it was the images of Boris Yeltsin standing tough against the communists that stood out.
He has the added prestige of his courageous defense of the cause of reform against a really quite brutal reaction, an effort to turn things back on all major fronts.
Boris Yeltsin was elected president of the Russian Federation by popular vote, but he is really a product of Gorbachev, who appointed him mayor of Moscow before firing him. But now Yeltsin is wielding the real power as the Soviet Union becomes decentralized, and he may be more effective than Gorbachev in getting results.
Dealing with these problems at the national level, rather than this multinational, enormously complex Soviet Union level, will have a far better chance of working out their problems.
Now that the smoke is clearing in the streets of Moscow, observers are waiting to see which leader rises to the top in world affairs. But the long-range success of both men depends on their ability to reform the economy and put bread on Soviet shelves. With so many conservative forces now discredited in the Soviet Union, Gorbachev may feel freer to install more radical reforms, and that could form an alliance between Yeltsin and Gorbachev no one expected. Brendan McLaughlin, King 5 News.
Soviet observers expect Yeltsin and Gorbachev to get more support from the West after the coup. Western leaders have seen how the alternative to the current form of government would work, and they don't like it at all. Word that the coup leaders had given up after leaving the country for less than 3 days brought smiles and cheers almost everywhere. On the streets of Moscow, for example, residents were literally jumping for joy. Many traded signs of peace. They celebrated an achievement that they have not known in their lifetimes, emerging victorious over the dreaded KGB and the military. Political leaders in Europe were quick to react to the news that the coup had failed, especially Eastern Europeans. In Prague, Czechoslovakia, it was the 23rd anniversary of the Soviet-led invasion there. Today's commemoration became a celebration when people learned that Gorbachev was back in power. Many say the coup was a reminder of democracy's delicate balance. Although the coast is clear in the Soviet Union now, some Soviets still don't want to leave America and go back. Vladimir Brodikian, he claims his support of the Soviet freedom movement got him into trouble with the much-feared KGB, and that fear still hasn't gone away.
Even though there may be some changes taking place in Moscow that are shaking the world, he says that in the local districts, the changes are not penetrating there, and that the authorities of the communist government are still in office, and the KGB particularly is still in power.
Brodikian is divorcing his Soviet wife to marry a Maple Valley woman. He jumped off a Soviet ship that stopped in Seattle just last week. There is new hope now among Russians, Latvians, Lithuanians, and others who have fled the Soviet Union. Our top story continues as Kevin Baird talks with a Soviet family who lives in Seattle, including one family who just got out a couple of weeks ago.
Alexander Slasarchuk feels fortunate to have escaped the Soviet Union with his wife and 8 children. He fled 1 month ago in search of religious freedom and worries about the turmoil back home.
He, of course, is very worried, especially about the possibility of a civil war. Friends there are very scared of the situation.
Because they don't understand English, their knowledge of events remains sketchy. Ina Bray, by comparison, has been glued to television all week. Concerned about her native Lithuania, but hopeful the aborted coup may accelerate independence there.
You listen to the news and you think, is this dream actually going to come true? Am I dreaming? Is this independence actually going to take place also for those people? The emotions are beyond description.
Zilvina Selinskis, who served 2 years in the Soviet military, is among those who suspect Gorbachev of engineering the coup.
And at first I was thinking that this is cheap trick, this is just political game, that Gorbachev lost his authority, in Soviet Union. He got no financial aid, and they decided to play a game. In 2 days he became a hero.
Now he has become a sort of martyr, if you will.
While some Soviet immigrants remain suspicious, all are hopeful the worst is over. In Linwood, Kevin Baird, King 5 News.
All of the people you just heard from believe their homelands should be granted independence. And tonight, the governor of Alaska is offering to help the Soviet citizens celebrate their victory. Governor Walter J. Hickel is offering them millions of excess Alaskan pink salmon. Hickel says that he'll even arrange to have the salmon delivered to a Soviet fish processing ship in Prince William Sound. So far, he says regional governors in the Soviet Union are ecstatic about his offer. There is more news straight ahead tonight. Next, the latest on a prison uprising in Alabama. And why does this plane look like it's taking off when it's not? We'll explain when King 5 News continues.
Get ready. The #1 closeout on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America. Right now at your Northwest Chevrolet Geo dealers. Closeout value and selection, including the #1 selling full-size truck in America. Dealer discounts plus cash back on trucks. Your best truck buy is now during the #1 closeout on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America at your Northwest Chevrolet Geo dealers.
I don't know how these young families do it these days. Prices are going up and up. So Wendy's is going to help. We have 7 delicious items on our super value menu, each just 99 cents every day. Baked potato, garden salad, chili, junior cheeseburger deluxe, and a junior Swiss deluxe. 99 cents each. Every day, no surprises. So when you walk out, you have change in your pocket.
Hey, Dad!
Coming, Wendy.
The super value menu, 7 items for 99 cents each, 7 days a week, only at Wendy's.
Here in the West, it's been a done deal for well over 80 years. Pros and amateurs alike just grab their belts, cinch them up, and head to town, knowing that inch for inch, tool for tool, yard for yard, you can't beat done. It's the best way to nail down great values without shooting a hole in your budget. And that, my friend, is how the West was done.
We'd like to thank the editors of the car magazines for all the kind words they've said about the Lexus LS400. If they have any superlatives left, our special lease. See your Puget Sound Lexus dealer about our limited time special lease.
Authorities from 2 western Washington counties are now investigating a Woodinville man in connection with the deaths of 2 of his wives. King County investigators are looking into Cynthia Roth's drowning in Lake Sammamish late last month. And now, Skamania County investigators are reopening the case of Janice Roth, who fell to her death in 1981. Randy Roth says that he is an innocent but unlucky man. Officials in Snohomish County say 2 body parts found about 15 miles apart last spring are most likely from the same person. Police believe a man's leg and scalp were deliberately left in different locations by a killer or killers in an effort to hide the crime. The crime is one of 11 unsolved murders in Snohomish County. This victim has yet to be identified. At this hour, Alabama prison officials are negotiating with Cuban inmates who have taken at least 11 people hostage. Using crude handmade knives, the inmates overpowered 7 prison staffers and 3 people from the U.S. Immigration Service. A spokesman from the federal correction facility says that 3 hostages are women. The takeover occurred in a high-security prison wing holding 115 Cuban inmates. 32 Cubans were scheduled for deportation tomorrow. It's the biggest order in many months. Boeing and British Airways today announced the sale of nearly $7 billion worth of big jets. The deal is for 30 777s and 24 747-400s worth $6.85 billion. British Airways is one of the largest operators of Boeing planes in the world. But after asking Boeing to develop the 777, British Airways took a year to finally order them. Well, it was a sight that is rarely seen at any airport. An improperly loaded Federal Express DC-10 never got off the ground in Los Angeles. The people at Federal Express say the nose of the plane tipped off the ground when cargo containers were moved from the front of the plane to the back during loading. And as you can guess, the rear of the plane was just too heavy and the whole plane then seesawed. No one was hurt, fortunately, and the plane sustained only minor damage. A King 5 follow-up now on that oil spill from the sunken Japanese fish processor off the Washington coast. Tonight, Coast Guard officials say that they have received $2 million from the owners of the ship, the Tenyu Maru. The money comes as partial payment for the cleanup costs of the oil pollution problem. Tonight, a new era has begun for 330,000 Catholics in Western Washington. Thomas Murphy officiated his first Mass as Archbishop this afternoon. Murphy spoke about renewal and change at the noontime Mass at St. James Cathedral. Murphy replaces Raymond Hunthausen, who led the Archdiocese through 16 years of both worship and controversy. Well, if you're sick of hearing about Seattle being at the top of the list, stay tuned. Next, where the best places to live list ranks Seattle, Tacoma, and other cities in Western Washington. And if yours is not on the list, don't worry, we still have the weather forecast for you. Jeff?
And it's a little bit like that last bite of a very good candy bar. It's tasted really good, but you hate to see it go. That says something about our forecast, and I'll be back with that right after this.
If I owned a car dealership, first I'd outlaw loud jackets and cheesy ties. Then I'd have this big year-end closeout named after me.
Oh, it's U-Bar.
And the deals would be huge. I said huge. In fact, they'd be so good, and I'd sell Nissans to so many people, I'd be able to make the deals even huger.
Get a huge deal at your Nissan dealer's big sales event, but hurry, end soon.
Oh yeah, I'd also outlaw white shoes.
I'm expecting, my wife's expecting, we're expecting a baby. On top of that, I've got a business to run. I need to manage my time better. So I got some help from US West.
Hello?
Okay, honey, from the top. You can reach me on my cellular.
Uh-huh.
Second line.
Mm-hmm.
Pager.
Uh-huh.
US West voice messaging.
Yes.
Did I tell you I'm in the yellow pages?
I know.
Should we run through this again?
Maybe when you call back in 20 minutes.
All these time savers from US West are great. I'm taking care of everything. It's time. It's time. Payphone, 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 payphone. Car. Honey. Yeah, I'll meet you there. Just keep breathing. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? It wasn't a pizza.
US West, making the most of your time.
Friday night, King 5 plays the classics. Yes, here they are, in all their unique charm. The classic bits, the great moments, the further adventures of Almost Live on King 5, Friday night at 8:30 following the Seahawks postgame show. Anyway, you have to watch to see if your name is drawn as the winner of the Whirlwind of Comedy Tour.
Nature provides the finest fruits. NutraSweet provides just 7 calories. Smucker's provides the quality and care. Smucker's Light, all the fresh fruit flavor of Smucker's in a new light.
Many of you have been calling in and asking, where can we best see the northern lights? They've been visible the last couple of nights as far away from city lights as you can get, and the higher hill you can find, the better. 71 degrees, clear skies right now in Seattle. Tacoma, 73 degrees, clear skies, winds are calm. And in Everett, well, Everett's reported at last 66 degrees. Clear skies there, too. Today's official high, a very warm 85 degrees at SeaTac. The low this morning, 58. No rainfall, and the pollen count, well, that is low. Taking a look now at our satellite picture here in the northwest, a cooling trend is ahead because the high pressure that have been dominating our weather is beginning to weaken. This area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska is gradually swinging eastward. Now, tomorrow looks really very nice, but after that, more and more ocean air, more and more low clouds, and then probably late Saturday or Sunday, a chance of showers, especially from about Everett northward. Our forecast then for tonight, low temperatures from 52 in Oak Harbor on up to 58 degrees in Seattle, mostly clear, but with low clouds or fog late tonight. Still clearing off, becoming mostly sunny, but high temperatures from 66 in Oak Harbor tomorrow on up to 83 in Olympia. So cooler than was the case today. Now, east of the Cascades, cooler there too, but by anybody's standards, still hot. Highs from 89 in Spokane on up to 96 degrees in Walla Walla. Slight chance of a few thunder showers. Out on the water tomorrow, northerly winds in Puget Sound up to 15 knots. Westerly in the Strait of Juan de Fuca up to 25 knots in the afternoon. Also in Admiralty Inlet, the small craft advisories are likely to be posted. Up in the mountains, few showers over the south end of the Cascades, primarily from Mount Rainier south, 72 to 77 degrees. 5-day outlook, 77, partly cloudy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy. Highs in the low to mid 70s, and a chance of a few showers late Saturday or on Sunday. Not the best night for northern lights thanks to an almost full moon, but
well, maybe
way away.
Maybe tomorrow. We'll check that out.
Maybe so.
And we'll give you an update.
Maybe not.
Well, tonight, Seattle is taking a backseat to Provo, Utah, way back. Money magazine named Provo the best place to live in the entire country. Seattle, as you may recall, was #1 2 years ago, then #2, now number 49. The magazine says that rising violent crime, unemployment, and soaring prices of houses are the reasons for the big drop. Many Seattleites actually welcome this news.
I'm glad. We're the worst city in the world. Don't come here. It stinks. Freaks everywhere, junkies. It's a horrible city. Don't come here.
If you're wondering about the top 5 cities, they are in this order: Provo, Utah, Bremerton, Washington, which slipped from the #1 spot, Bryan, Texas, Boise, Idaho, and in 5th place, Lubbock, Texas. Olympia ranked number 15, Tacoma 18, Yakima was number 25. And Minneapolis is on Tony Ventrella's list tonight. He'll be along with sports highlights right before we update our top story of the evening, the coup in the Soviet Union. But Tony will be talking about the Mariners, and the news is not so good.
Here comes 1 run. Here comes 2 runs. The bases are going to be cleared. Mack is going for another triple.
Here's what opportunity looks like. This is the Mazda Summer Savings Express. Get a Mazda Navajo. With a Mazda value pack and limited time incentives, you could save up to $3,325 now. Grab these savings while you can. They're moving.
The Mazda Summer Savings Express at your local Mazda dealer now.
Can you say futon?
Futon.
Can you say futon blowout sale?
Blowout.
Right now at Futon of North America, every futon set, every futon cover is on sale. 10 to 50% off. Everything in the store at mad warehouse prices. Already half the price of a couch, now at our lowest prices. Futon of North America. Blowout sale now in progress. Locations everywhere.
Over 100 years ago, visitors to Oregon would often return home with a very special beer.
It's Henry's.
No, thank you.
A beer that even today, some parts of the country have yet to discover.
Welcome to the Oregon Express.
But Westerners always were slightly ahead of the times.
Emergency exits are located. 2 to the front, 2 to the sides, and 2 to the back. Now, in the unlikely event of a water landing, your seat cushion will act as a flotation device.
Come to the Isuzu Invitational and you might discover that you're a real trooper. Because you'll like the 4-wheel drive with auto-locking hubs, tough 4-wheel disc brakes, and knowing you got the best buy in town. Best of all, you'll love saving up to $2,300 more. So hurry, the Isuzu Invitational is the perfect time to be a trooper and to compare and save, or really just save, because with Isuzu, there's no comparison. Isuzu Trooper, right on the money for the Northwest.
Titus Will. We're people just like you, and we know Daihatsu. Give us a try. Our prices are the best.
Mariners played ball in Minnesota tonight. Well, they didn't play their best ball in Minnesota
they
tonight,
didn't.
but they're leaving an early wake-up call because they have to play again tomorrow morning.
Yeah, crucial series continues. The question is it crucial anymore after tonight? Mariners are playing their way out of the pennant race. They gave up 6 runs after 2 outs in the first inning and lost 9-1. Outside the Metrodome in Minneapolis, and there's inside the Metrodome, which is where the Mariners had to play tonight. That's too bad. Maybe they should have stayed outside. The nightmare began with 2 outs in the first inning. Bill Kruger hit Brian Harper with a pitch. That loaded the bases. And then Shane Mack with a routine fly ball, but the kid, very, very uncustomary for him. He comes in on the ball, goes back and goes over his head. 3-run score, 3-1 at that point, and well, it was only 3-1, but it was really over. Later, Al Newman banged out a double. A couple of more runs came in to make it 6-1 after just 1 inning of play, and the Twins went on to win it tonight 9-1. Take a look at the scores in the American League. The White Sox lost as well. Twins lead them by 5.5. They lead the Mariners by 8.5. Oakland kept pace with a 2-0 win. The other winners, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Milwaukee. Boston took a pair from Cleveland. In the National League, the Straw had a big later. He hit a 3-run homer. 7 runs batted in for Darryl Strawberry. The Dodgers beat the Padres 9-5. Take a look at the National League scores. The Mets lost the first of a doubleheader to slip to 0-11, but then won 8-0 to end the losing streak. Dodgers won tonight. So did the Phillies. So did Houston, Chicago, and Atlanta. Bo is coming back. Bo Jackson will be the designated hitter for the Class A Sarasota White Sox in a game in Florida Saturday. If all goes well there, he'll join the Double-A Birmingham Sox in Alabama, hoping to get back to the White Sox in the event they should make the playoffs. Minor league scores tonight. Class A, Everett a winner. Boise beat Bellingham 7-3. In basketball, it looks like the United States will have truly a dream team for the '92 Summer Olympic Games in Spain. Today, 8 more NBA stars, including Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, reportedly have accepted invitations to play. Just last week, you'll recall, Jordan indicated he didn't want to play in the Summer Olympic Games because it would, well, frankly, mess up his summer golf. But then he decided that maybe he better play because his endorsements would be hurt if he doesn't. So Michael Jordan says he'll play. Larry Bird is thinking about it. What a ridiculous lineup this would make. Take a look at the possible '92 Olympic game lineup for the United States team in Barcelona. Oh, my gosh. Some people don't even think it's fair that NBA players are able to play in the Olympic game. It probably isn't fair, but it's going to happen.
How would you like to be on somebody else's team and have to face these guys?
It'd be scary. It could be frightening, really, for some of these other
Really
teams.
an impossible task.
Yeah.
I think it's an unbeatable team.
Me too.
Okay, Tony. Updating our top story now. Mikhail Gorbachev is back in Moscow at this hour. He arrived during the early morning hours before the sun came up. Apparently, he's concerned about his personal safety. On Soviet television, Mr. Gorbachev explained that he has a big job ahead of him, turning the wheels of reform in the Soviet Union. But the question remains tonight, will Mr. Gorbachev be able to lead his country to change after suffering through a coup? And will the president of Russia, Boris Yeltsin, play yet a bigger role in the future of the Soviet Union? That's our news tonight. Thanks very much for joining us. And we invite you to stay tuned to King 5 News for the first news of the morning at 5 from 5 to 7. And stay with King 5 throughout the day for noon, 5, 6:30, and again at 11 o'clock for complete coverage of the situation in the Soviet Union. Good night.
The #1 closeout on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America. Right now at your Northwest Chevrolet Geo dealers. Closeout value and selection. 17 different cars and trucks priced under $10,000. Tremendous dealer discounts plus factory cash back. Your best buy is now during the #1 closeout on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America at your Northwest Chevrolet Geo dealers.
And so, class, the term minus 5xy consists of 3 factors. Minus 5x and...
You may never need Pearl's free breakage guarantee.
...is the literal coefficient, and minus 5...
But you never know. Only Pearl will repair or replace your broken glasses free for 1 full year, even if you break them. Have you got your Pearls on?
4 days that rocked the world, and King 5 News, working with NBC and CNN, brought you the full story.
Mikhail Gorbachev is ousted in an apparent coup. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev is under house arrest this morning.
Tonight, word that Soviet troops are on the move.
Tanks are burning in the streets of Moscow this morning.
We want to go to CNN right now and show you live pictures from Moscow.
Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev back in Moscow tonight. When news happens, you'll see it happen on King 5 News.
Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues.
It's clearance time, and your Toyota dealer is dealing away every 91 in stock. We're wall-to-wall with the year's final shipment, so you'll save a lot on every car on the lot. Toyota Clearance 91, the cure for the summertime blues.
Well, you're gonna go wild when you hear the news. Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues.
See your Western Washington Toyota dealer now. He's got the cure.
Why join the Northwest AIDS Walk this year? Because it's important, it's easy, and it's fun.
Brochures at QFC. Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. What do most people say when they meet Burt Reynolds?
I saw Smoking the Bandit 27 times.
And don't miss the music of David Sanborn, plus consumer guru David Horowitz. But can Johnny save this sinking ship?
Pull the red tabs. Let's see what happens.
Stay tuned for The Tonight Show, immediately following the Seahawks training camp update. This is a Seahawks training camp update.
Hi again, everybody. The Seahawks in 49.